But for our work that we are going to work on today is going to be fascia. So I'm not going to go into the importance of fascia and all the amazing things that fascia is and how it can just wreak havoc if you don't have it, stretched and properly, worked and hydrated and all those other things. But today, I just want to talk to you about the diaphragm and how the diaphragm plays a huge role in our fascia. And so if we are not breathing properly, or if we're breathing backwards, or if we're breathing with a collapsed chest, or if we're breathing with our shoulders instead of, and our chest, I can't even do it anymore. So we're keeping our body in a stressed out state, and we're actually not using the breathing muscles correctly. So, just everything kind of stays bound up in the body. So first off, I want us to work on proper breath. What is a proper breath, and why is it so important? And so most people, if you take your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly, when they take an inhale, their chest will move and their shoulders will move. And this is okay, if you're in a creative mood, or you're out playing, football with your friends, or you're out shopping and you're like, ee! But if you're that way chronically, it's a problem. And so we're trying to shift this down to here. And so when you take a proper inhale, your belly should rise, your ribs should move, and hopefully your back. And then when you exhale, everything should close down. It should almost feel like a crunch. And so a lot of times we're over breathing. So today I want you to learn how to just connect the diaphragm, slow the breath down. And so when we inhale, so our diaphragm is this crazy like dome looking thing that's underneath our rib cage, and we also have another diaphragm here, which is our pelvic floor, which we'll do in another class, and then we have a diaphragm up here. And so we have actually 3 diaphragms, but this one right here is the one that we're going to be focusing on. And so when you take that inhale, and actually so now that we know that we're trying to focus the breath, not moving in the chest and the shoulders, we're trying to send all the air down into the belly. Take your left hand on your rib cage on the side, hand on the belly, and take an inhale. Your belly should lift up, your hand should move out, and then when you exhale, your hand should lower down, and your ribs should go in, and it should feel like your hand is going away from your rib cage because your ribs are hollowing. So taking a deep inhale, my right hand is lifting, my left hand is moving out. Exhale, all the air out. And so today I'm just going to give you a couple of visuals to work on. And so we're going to just take like a block, and just whatever is the most comfortable. But right now we're just trying to focus on, again, getting that belly to move. So when we inhale, again, we're trying to move the ribs, move the back, move the belly. But that all is, a lot of people, it takes them a long time to even start moving the belly or to breathe correctly, because they've been breathing collapsed with just taking small, short breaths. And so we're trying to really expand that. Helps with our fascia, our diaphragm, and everything. Oh my gosh, it's all super connected. It will help with pain. It will help with pelvic floor dysfunction. It will help with your stress. It will help with your sleep. It will help with incontinence. It'll help with your brain-gut connection. There's so many things. So taking that deep inhale, keep inhaling, inhale, inhale. It's almost like you're trying to blow up a balloon. Inhale. And then exhale, keep exhaling, exhaling. Your belly is lowering, your block is lowering. Take your hands onto the block. Notice if your block lifts up, take a deep inhale. Keep inhaling. And then exhale, lower the block. sometimes just starting there and starting to connect is fantastic. But today we're gonna release the diaphragm so you can breathe a little bit easier and better, and then we'll go into the importance of it. But I love a good cork block, but if that is too much, and some people might need to start even with a rolled up yoga toe or a more squishy mat, but I'm kind of a go for it type person. So, and we're gonna be here for about 3 minutes. So it's almost a little bit like, I think this is Sphinx or Cobra. I always get them mixed up for whatever reason. But you want this across the belly. As you can see, it's kind of touching my hip bones right here, but it's kind of like right underneath my belly button, just kind of a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. If you start to lose your breath though, then maybe back off, or if you need to go to a softer object at first. And then again, I'm on the tops of my toes and I'm kind of pulling my chest forward, but just relax. And we want to inhale for 4, using that belly. Exhale for 6. For about 3 minutes. Again, if this is too much, you can switch out your block or go to a roll. Or if you'd rather start with a roll and then move up to a block. Or if the floor is too hard, you can always do it on a softer surface, like a bed or a softy surface. So really focus on that full expansion in the belly. Inhaling for 4 through the nose. Inhaling through the mouth or the nose for 6. And everybody who knows me, that knows my teaching, I'm always talking about controlling the breath, extending the breath, breathing less. Your mouth is for eating, your nose is for breathing. But for this exercise, for long exercises where we're trying to release fascia, we're actually working with the fascia and the diaphragm right now. So for those long holds, it's okay to breathe out through the mouth, so we're inhaling still through the nose for 4, and then exhale through the mouth. Preferably with an audible breath. So when we have an audible breath or a vibration in our throat, that helps trigger our vagus nerve, which helps stimulate relaxation in our body, which is really what we need when we're working with the fascia, and we're working with the nervous system, and we're working with long-term like results, instead of just, oh, if I don't eat for a week, I will lose 5 pounds and fit into these pants. This is gonna be more like, okay, I'm collapsing in my diaphragm. I feel more control in my body. My core is more connected. I feel less blocked. Those are the lasting changes that we're looking for. So inhaling for 4. Shoulders are starting to hurt, and if it's not too much, or if you have a pillow, again, I am a little more let's get it done kind of person, which I know is not necessarily great. So a pillow or something here would be nice. Just keep that breath the whole time. if you can make your exhales maybe even twice as long. But if the breath is stressful, meaning you're then back off, come back up, go lower. You shouldn't have a stress breath. So if you don't have a calm way to take that deep belly, diaphragm, rib breath, and exhale twice as long as you inhale, then back off and go onto something a little softer and work your way up. This is a deep stretch. We're kind of unblocking a lot of things that are connecting our brain-gut barrier, not barrier, but our brain-gut, but gut connection. Working with our fascia here. So our fascia has to be worked on with us. We have to breathe and work with it. We have to realize that fascia is way more than a tight muscle. Literally is our connection to our memories, our everything. It is the most beautiful neural pathway through our body. It's, if you took all of our body away, we would just be, we would still look the same if you just kept the fascia. Pretty much all of our body would stay the same shape. If you took away our bones, everything else, but our fascia is kind of everything. It's like almost like our matrix, our interwebs inside of our body. It communicates with our entire body. And that's why a lot of times when we get into a deep fascia release, or if you ever get a deep massage or a ralphing, or sometimes when they release something, you'll get a bit emotional, or you'll laugh hysterically, or you'll have different emotions. And so those are things releasing in your body. So let's take one more really focused breath. And then very, very slowly, start to lift yourself up, push yourself back. Take your block and put it, so for this time, I'm gonna put it on my right hip, or I'm sorry, not my right hip, my right ribs. And so I believe your right side, oh gosh, it's like your spleen and your stomach, and then your left side is like your liver, gallbladder. So we're gonna kind of release a little bit of that as well. So your block, and again, you might wanna switch to a softer block, or even a rolled towel, just wherever it takes you to a place where you can feel your body needing, it's letting go, but it's not too much where you can't control your breathing and you can't sit that way for more than 5 seconds, you're done. So some way you can sit for a long time. So actually, I'm gonna put it on this side so you can kind of see. I'm gonna put my leg out. Ooh! Oh, and we did a class yesterday, that pelvic floor class. And then I'm gonna put this on my ribs, on that side body, and then just try to, again, relax. If you've got a pillow or something where you can relax comfortably, and just find a way to try to allow the body to dip down into the block. Again, your body should be moving a little bit when you inhale. The belly, the ribs, the back is expanding, and when you exhale, you're going deeper onto that block, and it hurts a little bit more. Ooh. I feel this one, yo. So So it should, again, be uncomfortable, but not take your breath away. So for me, this is sending a little bit of a, I don't even know this sensation. It's like, it's almost like my body is, whoa. So again, in all of these, make sure that you're connected with the body, and you know that there's good pain and there's bad pain, right? And our body does communicate this usually pretty well to us, and then we decide to be tough or to push further. This is not where you want to be tough, but this is where you want to be uncomfortable. Probably feel all kinds of weird sensations. So I'm feeling sensations kind of going up through like the back of my boobs or like the back of my chest bone. And I'm kind of feeling it going down my leg a little bit. And I'm also kind of noticing it release a little in my rib cage and then in my sacrum a little bit. So I mean, everybody is going to be different where their fascia is holding on to them, and where our diaphragm has been collapsed or subused, or just not breathing properly. So a lot of the poses that I do are very vulnerable, so they put your body in a very vulnerable state, because we're working with your nervous system. So we're trying to almost put your body in that fight or flight, and then kind of teach you how to calm the body down using your breath, your nervous system, putting it in, you're exposing your heart, your throat, your groin, your reproductive organs, like everything that we know to protect. We do a lot of deep opening in those areas that helps uncollapse the diaphragm. A lot of times, if we get stuck in a really stressed out state for a long time, or if we have a lot of scar tissue from a lot of injuries, or if we have a lot of trauma or just PTSD from just long-term, just dealing with something that's just overwhelming, that can make your diaphragm collapse. And it is a big deal to uncollapse that. It can open up so many things for your body that you just felt so limited in for years. Hope you're still breathing for that. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6 or 8. Allowing it to get uncomfortable, noticing if you're clenching or if you're able to fully relax. Try to get where you can fully relax. If you're still clenching, your nervous system is still holding on. And know if you think you let go, that maybe your rib is going to pop out or your eyeball is going to pop out or something. It's not, it hasn't yet. So just try to breathe here. Yes, it is uncomfortable. But change is uncomfortable, and especially if, man, I see so many people. I've been a breath coach for 10 years, so for me, breathing is just so normal. It's just such a, I just don't understand that people don't understand it. And the more I meet people, I realize that breath is so unconscious with most people, and they don't consciously know how to take over their breath, which can consciously override their nervous system, which can, help them from going into a panic attack or having anxiety or having negative thoughts, Overbreathing causes a lot of anxiety. Overbreathing causes asthma. Overbreathing causes heart disease. If we knew that we just needed to slow our breathing down and breathe correctly, man, it could heal a lot of people just by that alone. All right, take one more deep, deep, deep. Really let it get in there. Woo! Exhale. Make a sound. Let it vibrate in your throat. It doesn't matter what you sound like. It just matters that you vibrate. Oh, and then just slowly switch your sides. Woo-hoo-hoo. Just kind of sit up for a second and notice if you feel a little more openness in that left side than the right. And I will attach a PDF that will explain everything, how to do it, and why it's so important. So now, other side. So right, kind of under the rib, under the hip. So it's a little uncomfortable. Woo! One side might be a little bit more not friendly. Not a friendly lion. Oh! So again, if you're gritting through it, that's not what we want. So we want you really just being uncomfortable, but being able to breathe through it. You should be able to still fully expand in the rib cage. Inhaling for 4. Exhale for 6. Ooh, the more you exhale, the deeper you can go, so don't be afraid. Inhale. Exhale. Really start to pay attention to your rib cage, to your breath. Start noticing if you're clenching in your jaw or in your hands. So this month I'm doing a fascia workshop and a pelvic floor workshop, and putting it all together, I'm like, they really just go hand in hand. Again, your pelvic floor is your other diaphragm. So right now we're kind of releasing our main diaphragm, our breathing diaphragm. So we want to make sure that we are breathing correctly. Our fascia needs our full support. Full breath, not collapsed subpar breath. It's like basically the respiratory equivalent of eating fast food thousands of times a day is overbreathing, or mouth breathing is even worse. So especially for people who have to talk or teach all day, I usually will tape my mouth closed that night just to make sure I get less mouth breathing to not wake up exhausted. So the more you mouth breathe, the more tired you'll be throughout the day, the less you'll be able to think. And also it will change your face. So making sure that mostly you're breathing through the nose and exhaling through the nose. I hope you're just going through the pain with me. I hope so. I know you got this. Oh my gosh. And I really, really want to know if you feel a difference from this, if it was too much, if it was, you didn't feel anything. So I really, really need your feedback on this, because 1, we're trying to work with the fascia, and 2, we're trying to, with the fascia around the diaphragm, release the diaphragm to start this journey of working with the fascia and working with the scar tissue and working with our traumas and working with our past and working with everything that we've put our body through till now. Ooh. Take one more deep, deep, deep inhale. Then just slowly, oh, come up. Oh, and that is kind of a fascia release of the diaphragm. And so breathing with the diaphragm is so important. And so that is one thing that I want you to keep working on. And I do want to know how you feel. Wow. And I want you to notice if you can move your pelvis back and forth. So we were in class the other night, and these are my, my yogis, and all of them were having a really hard time actually moving the pelvis back and forth. Like it's almost like they couldn't even connect the brain to do it. So even some of those movements, and then I did a pelvic floor release that I will also link into this. So this is not too long, but I do want you to please, please, please try to release the diaphragm. Work on lifting the block when you're laying down, and then exhaling, letting it go, making sure that we're not constantly in fight or flight, and that when we inhale, our belly is rising up, and when we exhale, our belly lowers down. Thank you so much for trusting me with all